Mr. Speaker, the government seems intent on spending billions of dollars to put our environment and our children's futures at risk. After spending hundreds of millions to cancel clean energy projects, they're now continuing to pursue a $6 billion mega highway that nobody wants. It won't save commuters time, the municipalities it will serve don't want it, and it will destroy 2,000 acres of prime farmland. It will impact watersheds that flow into Lake Ontario. And worse, Mr. Speaker, they've spent all of this money threatening to darken our children's futures when it could have been spent making their futures brighter. It could have been spent modernizing schools, improving ventilation, improving broadband connectivity. It could have been spent building the best schools in Canada, Mr. Speaker. My question, will the government put our children's futures first? Will they cancel Highway 413 and instead put that money into building the best schools in Canada?
Minister of Transportation to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member opposite for the question and the opportunity to talk about the GTA West Corridor. Mr. Speaker, there is a strong case for moving forward with the GTA West Corridor. By 2051, the population of the Greater Toronto Area will be approximately 15 million people, and our road infrastructure needs to keep up. We need to take action to alleviate congestion. Commercial traffic will not just go away. The Liberals abruptly paused, cancelled the environmental assessment process without any plan to accommodate future population growth. Mr. Speaker, we want to get this right. That's why we are fully committed to the consultation and study process, a comprehensive environmental assessment process to determine whether or not we should proceed with the GTA West Corridor, to determine, Mr. Speaker, whether it is the right project for York, Halton and Peel regions. Thank you.
And the supplementary question.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. $6 billion would certainly build and modernize a lot of schools. It would be the most ambitious construction and renewal project in generations. Progressive Conservatives like Bill Davis used to understand that investing in education was the key to building a brighter and more prosperous tomorrow. Unfortunately, this modern Conservative movement chooses to darken that future by attacking teachers, cutting funding, and pursuing reckless environmental schemes that will only do damage for generations. The government would rather spend $6 billion on a mega highway that nobody wants and will only save these future commuters 30 to 60 seconds. They want to spend $6 billion destroying farmland that feeds our families, watersheds that flow into our sources of drinking water, and they want to spend $6 billion making it harder for our children to adapt to climate change in the future. Mr. Speaker, why is the government continuing on this course of recklessly endangering our children's future? Why won't they simply cancel 413 and invest that money in schools instead?
Minister of Transportation.
Mr. Speaker, well, it is truly ironic to hear the Liberals boast about their plan against highways and in favour of education. Let's consider the Highway 407 East, for instance, Mr. Speaker, which was planned and constructed while the Liberals were in government for 15 years. That 43.4-kilometre-long highway, Mr. Speaker, affected 100 hectares of forest, 30 hectares of wetland, which were removed during the construction of the highway, and approximately 330 hectares of greenbelt were paved, Mr. Speaker. The cost of that highway, $3 billion, that the Liberals, when they had the chance, could have invested in school repairs and construction. But they didn't, Mr. Speaker. When they had the chance, they didn't. Mr. Speaker, I will not take any lessons from the Liberals on highway construction and environment protection. Thank you.